Hi everyone, Sam Sorbo here for the Accidental Homeschooler. I haven't done a video for a little while. I've been traveling and stuff, so I'm gonna launch in because, and you can see I'm not at home, but I just got a call from, I was on the phone with a woman that I've sort of been coaching, and she's really sort of overwhelmed. The second week of school, she decided to pursue classical conversations, so this will be discussing a little bit more towards that choice, and she's overwhelmed. And the reason that she's overwhelmed is because we were all schooled to think that we had to check every box, dot every I, cross every T, and that's just not true. That in itself is a lie. Your child is not the epitome of average or anything. Your child is unique. Your child is him or herself. And we think that if you check every box and cross every T and do all the little doodads, that somehow you're just going to emerge educated. That's not what this is about. That's not what parenting is about. That we have to escape from that sort of brainwashing that we've all gone through, and understand that what we are trying to do is foster a love of learning in our children and encourage them to learn how to teach themselves. And checking every box isn't going to get that done. All that does is make it tedious. It introduces this level of tediousness to the learning process, and that's why it's important, I think, to take a step back, especially if you're brand new to homeschooling and you're one of the heroes who just jumped in and said, okay, I'm going to do this on my own. I'm going to find my curriculum. I'm going to serve my children and my family in this manner. You can, and your kids have come out of a school environment. You can afford to cut yourself some slack and take a break and not be so tied down to checking boxes. Now, understand that in the school system, they had to implement some kind of standards. They had to implement for all the little children. And it developed, certainly in some part, it developed organically that, well, as long as we know that they can do all of these things, then we can stamp, we can give them a stamp of approval on their forehead or whatever and say, okay, they're educated. Now they can go off into the real world. But that's not, it's not practical in a home education environment. So we started talking about Latin, and she's very concerned that the Latin is going to sort of, that it's too difficult, that there's so much to do. And I said to her, and this is what I tell parents, don't try to do everything, especially with Latin. Do 1 hour a day. Just make the commitment. You're going to set a timer, and you're going to do 1 hour a day. And if you get through 8 lessons or 8 exercises, fantastic. If you only get through 1, okay, that's fine too. You're doing 1 lesson a day. 1 hour, 1 hour a day. And so try to just sit down, and if you're struggling through the lessons and you're struggling to sort of get from the beginning to the end, then lighten the load a little bit and only do the first 5 sentences of the translation, or the first 2 sentences and the last 2, or do the odd numbered ones. So you don't have to check every box. Even our schools don't check every box. I remember my family moved because the high school where my sisters were going to attend only covered, I think it was like 16 chapters of the 56 chapter biology book, and my mother found that completely unacceptable. And so we moved. We moved the school systems to a better district. So I'm just saying, and by the way, that district didn't do all 56 chapters either. You have now become the teacher. You decide how much is appropriate for your child to learn. And try not to get stressed out. This is a marathon, it's not a sprint, and you're just starting out. And if your kids came out of a public school, then you're going to have a period of adjustment. And there's a period of adjustment certainly for you, but also for your child, and you're going to have to work through that. And what a wonderful opportunity for you to forge a stronger relationship with your child through this challenge. So take the time that it takes to do that. And I said to her, maybe schedule Latin. I used to do Latin first thing in the day because it was challenging, and you want to like get into it. It wasn't too challenging to accomplish, but it involved a great deal of concentration, and I like to start the day that way because it gave me an opportunity to have a fairly easy win with a little bit of work, and it sort of set up the rest of the day for me. But I said to her, you know, if you want, schedule Latin from 11 to noon, and then noon is lunchtime. And so you're knowing that you're working towards a break, you know, you're working towards a reward. So that often sort of works to just get you that energy flowing so that you can get it done. And then the last thing that I said to her that I want to impart to you guys is, please don't get bogged down in all of the tedium of it. Get the work done, move on. And if you're not getting the work done, if you're somehow just like, oh, so frustrated or whatever, take a break. Just say, you know what? We worked pretty hard this morning, and I can sense that there's a lot of frustration. Let's take the afternoon off. Let's go to the park, assuming parks are open where you are. I'm in California, and they're all yellow taped. No parks. Let's go for a walk. Let's just go for a walk. Let's take a break. We'll go for a walk. We'll take the next hour and not do that. And in fact, my son came in and worked in this office with me all morning. And then at 11 o'clock, he got up. He said, I'm going to take a break. I need to take a break. And we actually had some birthday gifts that needed to be wrapped. He was like, let me wrap the birthday gifts, because that's sort of mindless, and it's a complete distraction, and it's easy, and that's allowed. You can do that because school doesn't happen between 8:30 and 3 every day anymore. Okay, so you've got to get in your head that there's a complete paradigm shift, and embrace that, and also understand this is for a season. It's only a season. It's a brief season, frankly. And if you think that it's too much hands-on right now, trust me, that will go away. Everything is going to shift very gradually. Your children will gain more autonomy, and you will become less, not involved, that's not the word, but less necessary minute to minute, hour to hour, 10 minute to 10 minute, and then hour to hour. Okay, so hang in there. You can tough it out, and don't be so bogged down in checking boxes. That is an orphan from our time at school, what we were taught to do. Okay, all right. Be encouraged, and don't forget to tune in for other videos and stuff. And thanks for tuning in. And by the way, please share this video